Baseball for Breakfast edition here of Cards Hub 365, powered by Gray Bar on Sports Hub STL, sponsored by DraftKings. The crown is yours. I'm Joe Roderick, joined alongside by Matt Rocchio. Cardinals going for the sweep today against the Pirates. And tell you what, Rock, it's a good day to not be a Pirates fan, because if you go on Pirates Twitter,
Dave, it's a day that ends in Y.
They want Derek Shelton's head immediately.
I don't know how, if you're a Pirates fan, maybe you just get sick of asking for the ownership to change, that you just have to at some point yell at somebody else. I guess is that what it is?
I think more so it is actually frustration with the product on the actual play on the field.
Are we saying the manager doesn't? The manager's the reason they can't hit?
I think they're probably a little upset with a manager who has a hitting background, not producing, not his players not producing. But as I look through that, I was there at the game last night and watching in the later innings. And I know you were producing, Sarah and Stefan, and I was texting with them as the game was going on. I could not believe that Derek Shelton kept Paul Skenes in there to face Alec Burleson.
That was
late in the game.
Very bad decision.
Like I see, I'm watching this and I'm looking. I kind of just took everything in immediately. I'm like looking. Okay, he's at 100 pitches. Okay, he's facing Alec Burleson, who has hit Paul Skenes well. I see. I look in the bullpen. They got double barrel activity in the bullpen. One of them a lefty. And I see all of this play out. And then I see a guy running out to the mound, and it's not Derek Shelton. And I'm thinking, what the hell are they doing here? And sure enough, first pitch, Burleson gives him the lead. And it was right then that I'm just like, that is, I don't know, the numbers there have to tell you to make that move. That's a terrible gut decision if that's what we're going with on that. If that's the reason for that decision, that's a bad gut decision to go with. I don't care how good of a pitcher Skenes is. That's bad.
Yeah, it wasn't a good decision. There's no doubt about that one. You can't really argue against it. It's one of those where I think the manager's just a lot of things are happening at once, and he lets it go one too many times. And I think it's not excusable when we see it, but I think we have seen it a lot in baseball, and it is what it is. Just looking at some of the offensive numbers for the Pirates, though, I mean it's truly insane. I mean, Adam Frazier in his first run with the Pirates was an above average hitter, not much above average, but he was like a 106, 107 OPS plus. He has a 75 OPS plus in his year right now, returning to Pittsburgh. Brian Hayes not developing, I'm sure is going to be something that will always bother.
And batting cleanup too for that team.
He has an OPS plus of 75. Tommy Phan's career OPS plus is 109. That's 9% better than an average hitter. Tommy Phan's OPS plus this year for the Pittsburgh Pirates is 35. That means he is 65% worse than an average hitter right now in baseball. Brian Reynolds' career OPS is 121. It's 80 this year. He's literally gone from a 21% better than average player to a 20% worse than an average player this year. It's insane how much that roster has regressed in every single facet.
Time to start drafting some hitters with those top 5 draft picks they have each and every year. You got the pitching locked in. Now it's time to go after the hitting. Cardinals have secured a homestand victory this round. 2 wins against the Mets, already 2 wins against the Pirates. So they'll either go 4-2 or 5-1 on this homestand before heading out on the road for a 3-city road trip coming up. We talked about this Friday. Ryan Fagan and I talked about this on Friday afternoon, how these 2 series were a pretty big test, pretty big look into the microscope of this Cardinal season, when you get swept in New York by the Mets in a 4-game series. You lose 2 out of 3 to Pittsburgh in Pittsburgh. And outside of the bullpen issues that the Cardinals have had, The other big issue this year has been the home and road splits, and just how fascinatingly different they are. What is it? 12 and are they now 13-4, 14-4 at home, something like, or 6? Whatever it is. I mean, they are polar opposites, complete 180s from what they are at home, from what they are at the road. I can't remember whatever it was at the beginning of the series to what it is now.
I'm not saying this stat wrong. Give me a second.
Yeah, they have shown, though, you beat the Mets 2 out of 3.
Yeah, 14-6 at home, 4-13 away.
It's unexplainable at the moment.
Actually, what's even more fun is actually this stat right here, Joe. At home, they have scored 96 runs and they have allowed 71.
Mm-hmm.
Away, they have allowed 96 runs and scored 73. That's the number right there, is that the runs scored and runs allowed is almost exactly
completely flipped.
That's insane.
It's completely flipped. And now you could have looked at it, maybe you got the Mets when they were hot, or the Pirates, just things didn't go in. But now you're seeing those same opponents that you struggled on the road against. Mm-hmm. Now you're seeing them at home and you're getting those wins. And
that's why I'm surprised that you and Ryan were saying that these two series were so big. Because for me, it's, can they show any life in the next 9 games?
Well, now that's where you go from there.
Yeah, that's 3 straight series away now against, I would say 2 out of 3 of those series I would describe as extremely winnable series for the Cardinals. And can you take care of business away against two teams that you should be able to beat, in my opinion, in the Nationals and the Royals pretty handily? Obviously, anytime you're playing in Philadelphia, that's going to be up in the air. But Nationals and Royals, I mean, that's 6 games right there that if you don't take, a majority of 4 out of 6, then we're sitting here on Monday, May 19th, talking about why this team can't get things done on the road. Again, for the 5th or 6th time, starting another week of Cardinals baseball this early time in the season with that question.
And that's a case then. I mean, you just have to look at what the routine, I mean, that's a case of maybe routines at that point. Yep. And completely just switching things up that you are doing as an organization on the road, if that's where you are, if that's where the struggles are. But no, the reason I thought it was such a big deal was because you actually got a chance to see, the same team.
That's
in,
I see what you're saying.
And this Pirates series too. In this case, I mean, you're seeing the same pitchers.
Yeah,
you are seeing the exact same pitchers in this series that you saw in the series too in Pittsburgh. So,
also, something to take away from that one, both the Pittsburgh and the Mets series have had 2 of those. They started 1-5 in 1-run games.
Mm-hmm.
And I think 2 of those losses were the walk-off loss to the Mets in the middle of their series. Yeah. And a walk-off loss to Pittsburgh to lose the 2-1 game to lose
that was the
series.
extra. Yeah, that was the extra inning game with just terrible decisions.
So they start 1-5 in 1-run games. Since then, they are now 5-5. And 2 of those losses were against those teams, and now you've won it pretty handily, including winning 3 1-run games in this run, 2 1-run games against the Mets, and now a 1-run game against the Pirates. That little facet of it, that's looking positive for the Cardinals. Turning around the ability to win close games after the struggles through the first month, that's big.
Sonny Gray is on the mound for the Cardinals today. Lineups coming your way in just a second. But before we get to those lineups, DraftKings is the sponsor of all content here on Sports Hub STL. And if you download the DraftKings Pick 6 app now, use code STL Sports. That's code STL Sports for new customers to play $5. Get $50 in Pick 6 credits. Better payouts, bigger wins, only with Pick 6 from DraftKings. The crown is yours.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org in Connecticut. Must be 18 and over. Age and eligibility restrictions vary by jurisdiction. Pick 6 not available everywhere, including New York and Ontario. Void where prohibited. 1 per new customer. Bonus awarded as non-withdrawable Pick 6 credits that expire in 14 days. Limited time offer. See terms at pick6.draftkings.com/promos.
And I know you have the I'm not sure what you have up for Cardinals today or what the numbers look like for the Cardinals. All I know is the Nuggets are playing tonight, so just give me more on anything that Jokic, any stats on Jokic. Just give me.
You're paying attention.
I'm smashing the more button.
Yes.
On anything Jokic, points, rebounds, assists, anything. I'm smashing it.
We're gonna do a baseball one first.
Okay.
The one hitter on the Pirates roster who is developing and is hitting the ball well and is gunning people out. I'm going to put quote unquote about gunning people out with 100-mile-per-hour throws. O'Neal Cruz, we're going to take him more on 1.5 hits, runs, and RBI.
Okay.
RBIs, excuse me, for the sticklers, because he is the one Pirate who can hit. And I'm going to look for a little payout on this one. So I'm going to go big. I'm going to roll the dice. I'm going to go with Wilson Contreras to hit a home run, which gives me a 3.2x modifier on this play. So just with those two plays right out of the bat on O'Neal Cruz and Wilson Contreras, you can do 8.6x your original wager. 8.6x, and all you need is a home run from Wilson Contreras and a solid game from the only Pirate who can hit the ball.
O'Neal Cruz 1 for 5 in his career against Sonny Gray. Brian Reynolds in 21 at bats against Sonny Gray has 3 home runs.
Yeah, Brian Reynolds is having a terrible year. I'm going with the year splits on this one and not the pitcher splits because O'Neal Cruz is going to be there in the 8th inning with at bats to do these things, and Sonny Gray will not be throwing pitches against him.
The lineup the Cardinals are going to put out there today, looking to get back to 500 on the season. First time, I believe. I had this up earlier.
I got the schedule. I'll find it for you.
It was April. It was like April. It was when they were 9-9. So whenever that is. They were 9-9 at some point. So
yes, they beat Houston to go 9-9 on April 16th, and then their next chance to go 500 was that's it. It
got ugly.
Their last chance to go 500 they did, which was when they beat Houston 4-1.
Well,
Steven Matz got a win
2 days later to go to 500 when they were 9-10.
Oh yeah, sorry, but they lost. On the walk off to the Mets. It was the walk off to the Mets.
Yeah, then they started losing quite a bit after that. Lars Nootbaar leads off. He's in left. Mason Wynn at second. Brendan Donovan at second. Or Mason Wynn at short, batting second. Brendan Donovan is playing second. Nolan Arenado at third. Wilson Contreras back at first base today. Alec Burleson back at DH today. Jordan Walker in right. Pedro Pages behind the plate. And Victor Scott II is in center field for the Cardinals as they look to get back to 500 at 19-19 on the season. A 12:15 start time today for the Cardinals in this one. Yes.
I was laughing because last night Sarah on the post-game show was like getting there at 500 and with the positivity that she said it with. Yeah. I kind of had to chuckle because we were talking about.
That's a real positive duo. When Stefan and Sarah are doing it, it is
we're talking about the Pirates and so it's a game against the Pirates, and so the super positive bent of
no doom and gloom with those two. It is the most positive duo that we have as a team here on Sports Hub STL.
Can I get your thoughts here on something from last night, because I feel like we're going to talk about here in the morning show, and I want to get your thoughts, and that was on Gordon Graceffo being used in a save situation for the first time since Palm Springs in 2021. So I think that's 4 years and 3 levels ago.
That is just, hey, you know what? He's pitching well right now. He was brought up here to be in the bullpen. It's what you had in the moment. So you go with him. I was surprised when I saw them bring out Steven Matz in the 8th. I was surprised that they didn't just, hey, you know what? You're a starter. We know you have length. Go out there and get the final 2 innings. That was what I was a little surprised about with that. I was also surprised they went straight from Livator to Matz too, that they went lefty to lefty in that. I thought maybe they would have broken that up too, but then when they got to it, I thought, okay, he's just going to end the game. So
I saw some people I know it was only he threw one fastball, but he absolutely gunned it. And so immediately as soon as that happened, something we saw in the postgame last night was people wondering if long-term is 95.6 was the one fastball he threw. So people were wondering long-term, is Gordon Graceffo one of those guys that you turn into a closer because you can bottle up his stuff into 15 pitches and it kind of changes the leverage he has as a pitcher. You know what I'm saying?
It does see as so when you look at this, when you look at the organization right now, and you know what they want to do, you know who is
There's
off
also
the books.
There's also when Gordon comes in, just say GG. I mean, that's
terrible.
That's a
bad.
That's a closer
No, that's a
tagline
bad
I've ever
joke.
seen it. Yeah, so was stealing the Mets thing, and they did that, and everyone loves
bad.
it. They stole the Mets thing, and everyone loves that for their closer. Just saying, you don't got
for what?
you steal something kitschy for your closer, like the Mets did with the Helsley with the red.
Oh, everybody
lights and
does that
everything
now.
like
That's just everybody
saying.
has
That's what I'm
WWE
saying.
style.
I'm saying,
Yeah.
So why not?
Everybody has
Why
those
not
now.
come up with a kitschy?
I don't think
80s style
was it.
saying?
I don't think Edwin Diaz was the first one to have.
I think it wasn't the first one to have it, but Timmy Trumpet got big, and then every team said we have to find a way.
But
to
that's always. I mean, Mariano
going.
Rivera had Enter Sandman.
I'm aware. Trust me.
Trevor Hoffman had Hell's Bells. Like like closers have had WWE style entrance music for a while. It was the trumpet wasn't anything new. I think it was more.
What's the year gap between Hoffman doing that and then Timmy Trumpet?
There was a big gap,
years.
but I still think closers still had music. I mean, Jason Mott came out to Green Day.
Yeah, I know they had.
Yeah.
But I'm saying making it a production became a thing because of Timmy
I don't
Trumpet.
think.
Am I wrong?
I'd have to look at the timeline of that because the Orioles with Felix Bautista.
That's a good. Oh,
I
forgot about that.
They had Omar whistling.
That's a good
for
point.
His intro from The Wire.
Really
they did
good,
that.
Yeah. Anyway,
I think saying. Johan Duran had. I mean, there were other closers that they had.
I'm just saying, Gordon Graceffo's got a closer line.
Yeah,
just GG.
When I remember this was. Yeah, I'm trying to think. I think this was before Edwin D.
Batista would have been 2023.
Yeah, I think before that
would have been after Timmy Trumpet.
21 or 22. The Padres when they had one of the Rogers twins as their closer, like. They had fire and everything.
Timmy Trumpet was 2021.
Would have been so.
Yeah, because he got hurt the year after.
He got
Timmy
hurt
Trumpet.
In 23. He got hurt in the World Baseball Classic
so
in 23. So it was
22. I
think 22 was when the Timmy Trumpet started.
Yeah, because that's when he finished 9th in the Cy Young.
Yeah.
Wow, only 32 saves. It's not even his career high in saves.
So 21. I feel like the teams were doing this for.
But anyway.
Forever.
Back to Gordon Graceffo. Do you see his future a different profile than a starter?
Yes, because as I was saying, because you look at the organization right now, and we know that Matz is off the books next year. We know that Fetty is off the books next year. But you look at who is coming up. You know McGreevy is going to be in that rotation next year. You know, I guess now with Jerpe, he's done probably for all of next year too. That's a 2027. For that, Tink Hence, I don't know where they sit with him either. I just don't think Graceffo right now is in the picture right now for being a starter. And I think if he was, I don't think they would have brought him up right now to be a reliever. I mean, they didn't bring McGreevy up to be a reliever. I mean, yeah, he came out of the bullpen, but it was for 5+ innings the other day. I just think,
and I'm not in less from like the perspective of the Cardinals. I'm just asking you, like, objectively, when we talk about, just arm talent and that kind of stuff, do you think he just projecting him like the best role for him as a pitcher? Do you think it's as a starter or in the bullpen? Just when we look at,
I haven't seen him start enough.
That kind of stuff.
I haven't seen him start enough, and I don't think I've seen the organization prioritize him as a starter enough to kind of make that assumption just yet. So that's when they like him now. I got to say I love his delivery. That is such a unique delivery, going straight back and then coming forward. I do like that a lot, and watching that and hearing him after the game last night talk about. He had no idea he was going to be closing. They told him the 8th inning, "Hey, you're warming up," and he's like, "Oh, okay. Guess I got the final 3 outs today." So I do like that. That doesn't seem like he needs to be, have that mentality going into it. He's just there to do a job, whatever job they tell him to do, and he's all for it. Lineup again, as I mentioned, if you missed it, it's Nootbaar, Wynn, Donovan, Arenado, Contreras, Burleson, Walker, Pages, and Scott. would like before the Cardinals hit the road for this long road trip, I would like to get some answers on what the timeline is for Ivan Herrera, because we were originally told that we probably could have seen him in the Mets series, and lineups are out now. We're not seeing him in this entire homestand, and now you're about to go out on the road. So with the media that's there today, I would like to get some answers, because I'm going to go on a limb and say not all the media is going to be going to DC for National Series.
Yeah, probably not.
After all the work they've put in, maybe take a series off for some of those.
Yeah,
people.
I'm a little confused. I thought that was going to be like I thought that was going to be a Monday thing. So yeah, I'm with you on that one. I want to see where Herrera's at. I want to just because got to get a home run from the DH spot at some point.
Dan points out Walker really struggling up in a up later on today before the game today. Bernie Miklas, I know, has a video. His latest video is on the struggles of Jordan Walker and Nolan Gorman. So that video and audio will be up. Video on the YouTube page, and then if you just search Bernie Hub wherever you find your podcasts, you can listen to the audio version of it as well. So he does a deep dive into the Jordan Walker issues.
Yeah, I just thought the interesting thing was Katie Wu tweeted out yesterday, Cards are working with Jordan on some pitch selection, approach stuff off the field, similar to what they've done before. He's slated to play in the remaining 2 games of the series. I just little notes like that are interesting to me.
Yeah, they're just putting him in there against like in a machine, or putting him in there in the simulator and trying to get him to be able to pick up on the balls with movement. So it's it's frustrating again to do this for another year with Jordan Walker, but they are all in on trying to get him right and give him every opportunity for this season. Hey, Cards Hub 365 brought to you by our friends over at Gray Bar. For all of your logistics needs, graybar.com. Gray Bar has you covered. And all content here on Sports Hub STL brought to you by DraftKings. The crown is yours. The Randy Carricker Show featuring Brooke Grimsley coming up in just a matter of minutes. So make sure you hit that subscribe button and get the notifications when Brooke and Randy go live on the Sports Hub STL YouTube page. For Matt Rocchio, I'm Joe Roderick. We'll talk to you next time right here on Cards Hub 365, powered by Gray Bar here on Sports Hub STL.